Good evening, this is William, and welcome to the latest edition of I Was a Teenage Daydreamer, where I discuss mostly music, some film, some literature, and some random things that I enjoy, and hopefully you do as well. Tonight I will be doing my first ranking video, ranking the albums from least favorite to favorite of one particular artist, and that artist is The Smiths. Very small catalog, so not a very long video. The Smiths are one of my favorite bands of all time. Johnny Marr is my favorite guitarist, and he actually informs my own guitar playing, uh, or lack thereof, more than any other guitarist. And Mike Joyce and Andy Rourke are my favorite rhythm section. Without them, the Smiths would not have been the Smiths. And their contributions could have been their own songs with another guitarist and singer on top of them very easily. And then, of course, there is Morrissey. Enough on that. So, without further ado, I will begin ranking the albums. And I want to preface this, like a lot of people do with these videos, that this is my opinion. Your opinion can be different, and that's totally great, and I'm completely glad. We all hear things differently, and so if you want to comment and disagree, be respectful, but let me have it. Let me know what you think, and let me know why. Everything is valid if you can support why. At any rate, number one, or number four, I should say, is Strange Ways, Here We Come from 1987, their final album. And while the band was struggling at the time, you really couldn't tell from the quality of the music here. This album is the first thing I ever heard anything from. When I was in middle school, MTV played Stop Me If You Think You've Heard This One Before, along with Pixies, Here Come Your Man, The Church, Under the Milky Way, and something by The Farm. I can't remember. I couldn't stand that. I ended up getting the Church album first, but that's another story. But anyway, yeah, so here is Strange Ways, Here We Come. An awkward album for me in a lot of ways. Some of the songs feel a bit stiff. Some of the songs feel a little bit forced, but when they hit very well. Of course, the aforementioned Stop Me If You Think You've Heard This One Before, Girlfriend in a Coma, Last Night I Dreamed That Somebody Loved Me, I Won't Share You. Some really, really great moments, but overall, I think lacking in cohesiveness and direction overall. Still better than 98% of what else is out there in the world, but when it comes to a Smiths album, does not quite stand up to everything else. Again, feel free to disagree. My number two is the self-titled The Smiths. A lot of really great songs on here. Of course, Reel Around the Fountain, Miserable Lie, Pretty Girls Make Graves. Oh, fantastic. This Charming Man, a classic. Still Ill, a classic. Hand in Glove, a classic. And Suffer Little Children, which is so heartbreaking, especially when you know the story behind it. A bit of my problem with this one is the songs get a little samey with some of Johnny's riffs. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It gives the album a cohesiveness. But it lacks variety somewhat. I might not agree with that statement, but that's what's coming out right now. Anyway, so still a fantastic debut, a fantastic album. I do know fans that this is their favorite album, and I understand why. But for me, it's number three in the catalog. Number two, The Queen is Dead. Ooh, why is this not number one? Oh, because I'm just scandalous that way. Again, some fantastic standout tracks. Of course, There Is a Light and Some Girls Are Bigger Than Others. Two of the most beautiful songs ever written by any band ever, and definitely in the top tier of the Smiths catalog. And of course, we have Cemetery Gates and Big Mouth Strikes Again, showing Morrissey's whimsical, humorous lyrics, but also, with a little serious tone to it. I Know It's Over, Another heartbreaker. The bombastic Queen is Dead. The Boy, the Thorn in the Side, one of the most infectious guitar runs of all time. Just a great album from start to finish. Not a dull moment at all. So that means, of course, that my number one is Meat is Murder. And maybe what I like most about this, coming from the most recent remaster box set, is that it does not have the How Soon Is Now on there. This is the original UK track list. I don't know if I've heard How Soon Is Now too many times, or if I really truly just hate the song. I loved it as a teenage daydreamer, if you will. But these days, if someone says it's their favorite song, I just roll my eyes and change the subject. But starting off with the Headmaster Ritual, again, Morrissey's tongue-in-cheek as he sings about brutal things. Rush Home Ruffians, not one of my favorites of theirs, but a very nice Elvis-inspired tune. I Want the One I Can't Have, fantastic pop. What She Said, fantastic pop. Some of Johnny's most signature guitar playing, just a fantastic couple of tracks. That Joke Isn't Funny Anymore. Nowhere Fast, another just perfect piece of pop. Well, I Wonder, which is my all-time favorite Smith song. I love it, love it, love it. Have spent many a forlorn evening staring out into the rain, listening to this, wondering why some girl or other didn't like me, who I couldn't even tell you their names, and they don't matter anymore. Barbarism Begins at Home. And of course, the harrowing Meat is Murder. So that is my number one pick. All-time favorite Smiths album. I didn't even really have to re-listen to these. I already knew them. I've heard these albums so many times. I already knew my order. There's a possibility at times when the debut might take second position, but Meat is Murder is always going to be number one. And of course, I have to give a shout out to the fantastic Louder Than Bombs collection, which is really the only other release of theirs that you need. I got this on my 17th birthday. Well, not this copy, but the other one that I have. On my 17th birthday from Sybil and Susan, and went home and listened to it over and over and over and over and over again. It has one of my other favorite Smith songs, the aptly named William It Was Really Nothing. And if I almost snuck this in as part of the ranking, but then I realized it might actually be at number one, and I didn't think that was quite fair. So, and then also in the collection, there's Hatful of Hollow, which has some nice moments. Handsome Devil, a really nice version of Back to the Old House. Accept Yourself, which a lot of people think is throwaway, but I quite like. And if you've got the UK version of Meat is Murder, How Soon Is Now? Ugh. The World Won't Listen, which I don't even think I've ever even listened to. You don't really need it. Money Changes Everything is boring. So, and then the Smiths live are rank. There are tons of bootlegs out there way better than this album. So, tell me what you think in the comments, if anything at all. Hit like and subscribe if you'd like to. And thanks again for hanging out. And as always, keep doing what you love.